This week's parasha deals with the contributions which the Jewish people made to the building of the tabernacle, the Mishkan, which was God's home and dwelling place until such time as they came and built the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple in Jerusalem and Yerushalayim. The parasha goes on to delineate everything that was made and how it was made, but it commences with the contributions that the individuals made, Zahav, Vakesef, and Choshet. They donated whatever they could, gold, silver, copper, various materials. And in this way, all the Jewish people were able to have some type of a hold, some type of an ownership, so to speak, in God's home to show that it belongs to everyone. This idea is reflected in today's day and age where shul does not belong to any given individual in the community, but indeed belongs to each and every one of us, to each and every single member, and indeed to each and every single Jew. When describing the various articles that were made, it's extremely intricate. But when it comes to describe the Holy Ark, the Ark which carried within it the luchot, the tablets, the stones that had engraved upon them the 10 Commandments, both the second set as well as the first set that was broken, we find something different that doesn't exist by all the other items and aspects that were made. Everything else, the measurements are whole numbers. 10 amos, 5 meters, 10 meters, everything was a perfect round number. But when it comes to the making of the Ark, of the Aron HaKodesh, we find that all of a sudden the measurements are in halves, 1.5 amos, and so on and so forth. It's no longer a whole number. Many commentators try to understand and to give a certain perspective as to why it was in fact that this particular item was done not in whole measure but in half measures. And I would like to suggest that given that the Holy Ark represents the seat of, as I said, the tablets, we can call it the seat of the Torah, as indeed the Ark today holds in every single synagogue, the Aron HaKodesh holds within it the Torah. Perhaps it reflects and represents not only a house for the Torah, but indeed it reflects our appreciation and our connection, our commitment to the Torah itself. Often people will say, if you ask them, do they want to do a particular mitzvah? Do they want to light Shabbos candles? Do they want to put on tefillin? Often the response will be, Rabbi, I don't do anything else. I don't keep kosher, I don't do this, I don't do that. I would feel hypocritical to all of a sudden do one thing and when I'm not doing anything else. A sense of, I have my integrity. My integrity means I do all or nothing. Since I'm not an observant Jew, I do not commit myself to living according to the dictates of the Torah. I believe that it would be inappropriate and immoral almost, and certainly hypocritical, were I to accede to your request, to accede to your suggestion, and to, as I say, light candles, put on tefillin or the like. The answer to which I think can be found in the symbolism of the Aron and the symbolism of the Ark. As I mentioned, the Ark itself doesn't keep, its measurements are not in whole measure but in parts. And as it is indeed the seat of the 10 Commandments and therefore symbolically the seat of Yiddishkeit, the seat of the Torah, I think perhaps that the message which the Ark of the Covenant is giving us is that we shouldn't be misconstrued. We shouldn't deceive ourselves into thinking that Yiddishkeit demands from us all or nothing. That unless we are totally observant in every aspect of our lives, only then can we embrace a particular aspect of Torah. But if indeed I have my human frailties, if indeed I do not keep the majority of what is expected from me in the Torah, so then what kind of an individual would I be were I to simply go and do something to make the rabbi feel good, to make God be happy? I have to be honest with myself. Comes along the Ark of the Covenant, it says, when it comes to observance, whilst the ideal might be 100%, 100% commitment, 100% devotion, 100% action, practically speaking, the Ark of the Covenant is also kosher and indeed is demanded to be in half measures. That even though we are humans and we don't necessarily keep everything that we want to keep or everything that we should be keeping, nonetheless our responsibility remains that we have a duty to consistently try to do little bits, a little bit more here, a little bit more there. There's no such thing as being an all or nothing Jew. Indeed, there's no question that as Jews we are constantly striving to improve ourselves. And I think the Torah really demands from us just that. 100% commitment to trying to be better, but an understanding that we're not going to be perfect. The Ark of the Covenant represents this idea, that it is our duty and our responsibility to do whatever we can, whenever we can, in advancement of our observance of Yiddishkeit. And whilst we may never attain the aspect of perfection, as long as we are perfectly striving to improve, that itself is perfection. Therefore, when you get asked or you have an impulse to do a particular mitzvah, don't feel hypocritical if you're not doing other things. None of us are perfect, none of us are doing everything in the fullest of measures. The Torah demands from us activity, action. Even if it's in a half measure, it's better than nothing. Yiddishkeit, as I say, is not a matter of all or nothing. It's just a matter of recognizing that we are striving to increase and to better our relationship with God, to strengthen our commitment to Torah and mitzvahs. And the little that we do, no matter how little it might be, is certainly appreciated by God and is certainly beneficial to us as individuals. Good Shabbos.